Hello there, it's Sandy again, and I have another guest speaker today. This is Sarah Marques. Very excited to talk to her about her experience with the program. She graduated a while ago and has been doing some awesome things, and her story is a little bit different, as are all of our stories. So I really wanted to hear from her what she's up to since she graduated. So thank you so much for being here, Sarah.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'm so glad your cat can join us too. And as I was telling you, my dog, we're having a thunderstorm. He's under me, so who knows what animal antics we'll get to enjoy today during our talk. It's like I said, I think it just brings charm to the discussion. So first of all, tell us a little bit about your background and your interests, and what brought you to this program.
Okay, so I started teaching. I was a general education teacher back in the 90s, forever ago. um, and I taught kindergarten, first grade. I did a little bit of reading recovery work, and then I took some time off to raise my family. Um, and then, about 20 years later, life happens, and I found myself um, going back to work. And in the meantime, I had gotten my master's in special education. So I decided that I was going to look for a place to actually pursue work in that degree. And what I found is a position teaching in a residential psychiatric facility, and really felt strongly like this was my place to be. These were the kids. This was the population that I am meant to serve. I taught there for about 4 years. And then I needed to take a break. I've had a few physical issues that caused me to need to take a break and give myself some time away from that intense environment. And I went back to public school, and I was thinking about what the next step for my career was. Where was I going to go next? I briefly considered getting certified in administration, which is still always sitting in the back burner. But then I fell across the Heartstrong program. I had attended a few of the seminars virtually, and so I was getting the newsletter, and I saw the information about the certificate programs, and I said, that's what I need to do, because I need more information about these kids that I'm passionate about.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of where I fell into your program. And I think that the fact that I could use it for my teaching information, but also to support other parents, because I also have children who have some significant behavior issues from anxiety and depression. And the ability to use that knowledge to help support other families going through similar situations was also really appealing to me.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's why, our program has changed over the years that we've been doing it. And I do find that most of the teachers that join us really want the parent information, and the parent leaders that join us want the teacher information. So really it is all the same thing. It's just two different contexts, right? So I'm
Right.
glad that you saw the value in that. So yeah, so you love those kids. Those are your kids.
I do.
Your passion. So what are you doing now, and how are you using your certification?
So I taught back in public school for 2 years. And now I just am starting back at the same residential psychiatric treatment center that I was at before. And I'm actually back in my same classroom teaching the same. I still have the little ones, grades 1 through 4. So I'm excited about that. The last 2 years while I was in public school, I actually used the certification also to to help bring a more trauma-informed lens to public education
Mhm.
for the teachers that I worked with and the students that I worked with there. I have done some parent coaching, and
Mhm.
I need to. My starting the business has actually been a little bit on the back burner because I've been figuring things out career-wise also. Um, but I'm trying to get that also kind of going a little bit more. I've done a couple teacher development workshops through my work. I did a few for the building that I was teaching in,
Yeah,
and
tell us about that, because I remember when you told me, I think you did presentation and nobody knew that you were from that building, and what were they telling you about the quality of your presentation? That was really exciting for me when I heard that news. So tell that story.
Yeah, so I recently was in my new hire training,
Mhm.
going back to the treatment center that I work at, and um, a few of the people hadn't heard the information about that. I think it's common knowledge the fight and flight, but the freeze and fawn was new information for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and there were a lot of questions about that characteristic and that presentation of trauma, and how to help students who are there and how to recognize them.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm thinking, and we were talking about that too, but I'm thinking like before, didn't you do a presentation? They thought you were a national level
oh,
presenter or
yes,
something. That
that
was
is
like,
true.
whoa, yeah. So
Yeah.
tell that story.
So actually, that was part of the practicum actually for the certification program. Was I did a 1 hour presentation, and it was during the summer last year, so a lot of the teachers from my building said sure, we'll come, and they were coming to help me, and also ended up gaining a lot of valuable information, I think. But we had a very new staff member who decided that she would just join, and because I had sent it out as anybody in the building could
Mhm.
join. And when I went in to teach summer school, she saw me and said, wait, didn't I just see you? Because it was the same day. She said, didn't I just see you online? And I said, yes. And I said, it was great that you could be there. She's like, I thought that you were like someone we had hired out to get and bring in. She's like, it's fabulous that you're here. So,
Yeah, and to me, when you told me that, I got really excited because you're awesome, first of all, and you did an amazing job with your practicum, but I'm hoping that's my hope for all of our graduates that when they go out and they do things in the world, whether they're parent coaching or doing trainings or whatever they're doing, I really want them to be sort of that higher level, really equipped, really able to bring a really professional presentation that people are going to learn from. So it's
yeah.
exciting to me that was the impression that she had, that you were a national level presenter. So
Yeah, it
congratulations.
was exciting for me too.
Yeah,
Well, and I think that that's one of the real benefits of the program is that it gave me the confidence and the research to back up what I already instinctually do.
yeah.
Because before I could say, this is what I do and it works, but
Hmm.
I didn't have any real reason behind it other than this is what I do and it works.
Right.
What the program gave me was the research to back up my philosophy and the confidence to say, I know what I'm talking about and you should listen to me.
Absolutely. Yes. And have you used some of the resources from the program in your conversations with other educators and your
I
presentation?
have. I just actually gave a coworker the reading list that I had developed through the program. So that was great. And I, but I used the um, the flight information
Oh, that's
as behavior as
like,
behavior tracked. Yes, as behavior tracking for a couple of my students, and I shared because I had just put on it flight, and so then I had to explain to my coworkers what that all meant.
excellent.
So
Yeah. So, yeah, and there's a lot of people out there that, like you said, that still don't know about these ideas, and which just blows my mind because I'm in this world all the time, that there are still people that don't know. So the fact that you're out there educating the people in your own building is phenomenal because I think it's that proximity to somebody who is a real live teacher who's really doing it that makes a difference as opposed to
yeah,
going to a seminar or going to a workshop, that kind of thing. So that's kind of our goal here,
yeah.
is that grassroots sort of infiltration of your building, and then you're an expert on staff.
Well, and I think it definitely has spread to the people who are willing to listen. I worked with one teacher last year with a specific student, and the first thing I did was say, okay, so if every time you put a piece of paper on his desk, he tears it up and says, I don't know why you're getting that to me because I'm not going to do it, stop putting the paper on his desk and say, okay, so this is the work we're doing. Here's your options. And she said to me, but are we ever going to get him to do all his work? And I said, yeah, not this year, but eventually.
Right.
And, and it's just that let go of the pressure, and it's okay to
Yeah.
drop the rope sometimes and let go. And there's reasons behind why that works.
Yes, there are reasons. And it's not just, I mean, and I think you and I are the same that way, that instinctually or maybe intuitively we knew that some children needed a different approach, and so we just went with that. But I think a lot of teachers are really, they feel like they're under a lot of pressure to just get the job done and get the curriculum taught and yada yada. And they're not looking at the individual child and what's really going to work for them.
Right. And I think that it goes against a lot of the way people have typically been taught to interact with children,
Yeah.
to allow them to guide our interactions. So
Yes.
if he's telling you, I'm not okay with doing this right now, you need to listen to him.
Right.
And I think that's a really, that's kind of a light bulb moment for a lot of teachers when they realize I
Yeah.
can listen to them and we can work things out a different way and still get this and get a better result.
Yes, because now you're developing a relationship, you're developing rapport, and that child's going to want to do more for you later anyway.
Right,
And
right.
so the yet, the power of the word yet, right? That's what you were telling her. It's not that it's never going to happen. It's just that right now, let's drop that rope. Let's not make that an issue. And at some point when he's able, then we can get to that point. So,
Yeah, and we can focus on the bigger issues that
yeah,
help him calm down a little bit and be able to do some things rather than do nothing.
exactly. So, yeah, so what you said, that that was one of the biggest benefits of the program, was that you were able to really back up your philosophy with actual research. What are some of
Yes.
the other benefits that you feel like you got out of the program? And if you were somebody considering joining the program, what would you tell that person?
So I definitely gained, I mean, absolutely 100% the research to back it up, the knowledge about that. I think I also gained some new insight for myself also as to expand what I was already doing,
Mhm,
to make it even better.
mhm.
I think that it's also wonderful to be part of a community of people who think the same.
Yeah.
It's because it's sometimes hard to be in that big pond and be the one person who's thinking differently and trying to get others to do it differently. And it's nice to be with a group that that we're all working in the same direction.
Yes, and we have some amazing people in our community, and that's, I mean, I always tell our folks, like, I love, it's my favorite part of the week is to talk to them, because they're all also like-minded and so like-hearted, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
I love that part too.
yeah.
So, yeah, so is there anything else you want to add, for anybody who's thinking about joining? Was it worth the time? Was it worth the investment? Do you feel like it was worth it? Or what would you say about that for somebody who's
I
like, I don't know, this seems like a lot.
yes, it is a lot, but it's absolutely worth it. It's not a lot of money for the value that you get out of it. And I have used that knowledge every day in my career since then. Like I said, that it's things I was already doing, but now it's more and it's better. And I'm more confident in what I'm doing is right, and that there's good reason to be doing what I'm doing. I question myself a lot less.
Well, yeah,
um,
because the people, like you said, the people around you sometimes don't get it. And so then
right.
you start to question yourself and think, well, maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But that confidence is so important because you know what's best for your kids. And if it's working,
Yeah.
doing that, right?
And I do think too that having and it may not be the way it should be, but it is the way it is, that having a certificate to say, I am, I have special expertise in this field
Right.
means something to other people. I know that in most school districts, at least in my area, the behavior specialists
Hmm.
are trained differently and in very behaviorist approaches.
Yes.
And for me to go in and just say, there's a different way,
Hmm.
is different than me going in as a certified professional saying, I am an expert in this field. I have extra training in this field to
Hmm.
back up what I'm saying. It just has more credibility.
Yes, absolutely. And did you go on to get the graduate credits as well?
I did. I
Yeah.
did. I got the 8 graduate credits because I did the dual certification
Is
program.
that helpful to you? I think you didn't
It's
you?
getting me actually, yes, it turned into a salary bump for my new job. So
Nice.
it's also
Yeah,
yeah,
because a lot of people, you have to do professional development anyway, right?
right.
You might as well do it in something that you enjoy or that you
Yeah.
really are passionate about.
So now I have enough credits to renew my certificate when it's time. And
Excellent.
also it was enough to put me up to the next salary level, which more than paid for the program in 1 year of salary. So
Excellent.
yeah,
Excellent. That's great to hear.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
I don't think so. But I wanted to thank you for sharing your part with us and and offering the opportunity.
Well, thank you. And it was a pleasure working with you. And I hope we can stay in touch. Let me know how
Thank you.
things are going. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.